right back where we left off in our murder rampage. Back into another nightmare, because that is how most parts of this game start. Our old friends, Don Juan, Rasmus, and Richard, subtly hinting at what is actually going on. If you know, you know. And if you don't, you couldn't possibly figure it out from what we're being told here. Rasmus hates us. Don Juan's a little nicer, and Richard is above everything, just completely inscrutable. Not ever gonna give us any answers. Nothing but questions. Just like their animal archetypes. Owls are wise and know better than us. Chickens are, curious and confusing. And the nurturing horse. Next time we meet will be the last. More predictions. Someone you know is not who you think he is. Something will soon be taken from you. On July the 21st, he will wake up in a bigger house. We won! The sweepstakes is ours. We just gotta survive till the 21st. Well, the 21st of next month. For now, though, things are looking pretty good in the apartment. It's all cleaned up. Our roommate has taken a bed. We've stopped collecting all of our newspaper clippings. That, or perhaps the local newspapers have gotten sick of printing the headline, "Florida man kills everyone," and just given up. They're not sensationalizing our killing sprees anymore. So we're supposed to DJ at a nightclub. Dressed to kill. There is no real innuendo to this one. We are actually going to a nightclub. We are not going to DJ, though. Might do some scratching if I bring, Dennis, as I am often want to do. Let's see what else we got. We got Ted. Ted is adorable. And it's another dog. I do apparently like dog masks. Try it out, why not? Dogs don't attack. That makes things actually kind of sad, but we'll get to that. First, if I had my knife, I'd be able to just rush in there, kill everybody, like that. But it would be easier. So dogs don't attack, so that's fine. We don't have to worry about this patrolling guy. He's just gonna be our friend. And this splattered corpse here, with the blood stain around the crotch, is Carl. We'll see later why Carl failed in his mission. So, dogs don't attack. I was actually very worried there that this dog would attack me. Dogs are still enemies. We do still have to kill them. Bummer. Ideally, we'll kill the humans a little more efficiently next time. You gotta get lucky with the dance floor, though. There we go. Ooh, that guy had a gun. That guy did not. Missing my knife. We'll get one later. In fact, we got a lot of ammo here. Leave the dogs be for now. They are still gonna check out our activities. They're very curious, as dogs are known to be. They say curiosity killed the dog. Ooh. So here's an opportunity that I should not take. But I learned that the glass bottle is an execution weapon. You just gotta knock an enemy down first. Then you can break the bottle and slit their throat. I can't believe I pulled that off. Now, that's the gun we already used. Well, here's a DJ, taking our job, but completely nonplussed about all the violence. I guess you can't see most of it from where he is, which makes him a bad DJ. Can't tell if anyone's enjoying his music. Bringing a gun here, not the best choice. Usually I bring a melee weapon here and start hacking people up. Like that. Because there are plenty of guns here already. Hopefully we'll get some melee weapons to spawn here. Because this is going to take a few tries, it looks like. Yeah, that's what happens when you try to use guns. The sound brings everyone your way. But it's fast. We'll give it a few more tries. Yeah, it's not working out for me. Nope, knife. It's all over. Almost all over. Usually I go from the other side. Yeah, I'm having increasingly problems with the assault rifle, where it doesn't kill the people that I shoot with it. That's a big problem for an assault rifle to be having. I did figure out that the Rufus mask, well, we don't have the Rufus mask yet. We have the Earl mask, the survive 2 bullets one. Rufus's one we'll get later. That is survive 1 bullet. Ironically enough. Hey, I killed everybody. What do you know? Just had to zone out, I guess. Anyway, the Earl mask, it does work. What it does is it prevents 1 or 2, rather, non-lethal shots from killing you. So there's a hidden attribute in this game where your character can survive 1 non-lethal shot. And it's completely random if you take a shot, whether it'll be lethal or non-lethal. So when we took a shotgun blast to the face, that was a lethal shot. It just was randomly... That's how the RNG worked out for us. But it could have been non-lethal, and our mask would have prevented it from killing us. Or rather, our mask would not have prevented it from killing us. We would have survived regardless. But then if we had taken further non-lethal shots, our mask would have saved us. None of that makes any sense, except to me. Like, I understand that now, but it's basically the mask is pointless. Anyway, secret over here. There we go. I did kind of ruin the music, but brilliant move, setting a level in a nightclub when your game has a phenomenal soundtrack that everyone loves. And obviously the developers loved it too. So, they made it diegetic for once. Good call on their part. We unlocked a new weapon. And a new mask. There's Rufus. The elephant. Did I not pick up Carl? Damn it. That sucks. I am gonna go back and pick up Carl. That's a bit of a problem. But first, we will have a little conversation with our old friend. Or will we? It's not actually happening. Nothing is. Dun dun dun. There's that guy we killed. Back at the Phone Hom Center. But didn't happen. We didn't kill him. Nothing is happening. Nothing matters. It's Hotline Miami. That could have honestly been the subtitle of this game. Oh. But now he's back on our side. We can ignore everything he just said. He did offer us more free food. We are not going to take him up on his offer, actually. There's no free food to grab here. Shame. We're a bit disturbed since he broke the fourth wall and we've lost our appetite. So, yeah, I'm actually going to go back and get that mask because I screwed up. Be right back. That's better. We've rescued Carl. All is right with the world. And there's absolutely nothing and no one in our apartment. So let's just get on with the next mission. No between mission bullshit to deal with. We're gonna swing by an apartment, which we may wish to rent, even though we have one of our own. Yeah, I don't think we'll be taking that offer seriously. Things might go a little violently. So I went through all that trouble to save Carl. Are we gonna use him? And by the way, it was a lot of trouble. I showed you the good run. You're lucky I cut out what I just went through. Carl starts with a drill. We are not using Carl. Carl is bad. We will instead use Ted so that I can manipulate the enemies a little bit. Some of the enemies, the humans, are still gonna be evil. So I've got a broken pool cue. And shove it through his chest like a stake to the heart. Takes a lot of setup, but man, there are a lot of unique kills in this game. Just weird things you would never think to try, or would never have the opportunity to try. They went way overboard with designing tons and tons of kills. If I wanted this to be a good LP, I would go out of my way and get all of them, show them all off on camera. I will leave some for you to discover. Or you've probably seen them all already, because this game's been out for nearly a decade. I want a shotgun. Ideally not a double barrel. There we go. Good, fully loaded pump action. So this next part has a gimmick to it, which you would never really think of on your first playthrough. Especially because it involves a twist that occurs once we get a certain number of kills. There it is. The cops are showing up. And we gotta move fast. So that is why I came this way. The purple dot is right around the corner there. We just gotta get to it. Ugh. So close. But obviously I have my strategy. Yep. Just gotta execute it. Fully expected this to take a bunch of tries, because it is fairly precise. So he's out of ammo. Didn't do me much good. Go. There's one guy over there with a real gun. There we go. Back where we left off. And we got our dot. That was a lot of trouble for one dot. We can actually let that dog live, though. That's exciting. Once we kill enough guys, I think we're one shy from hitting our quota. Yep. A bunch of invincible cops who are very trigger happy and just killed that dog. So realistic. Yeah, they will flood the area, kill you if they see you. We can't kill them. We just need to escape. All the Russian mobsters will surrender, and the cops will execute all of them. Including the dogs. D+, I might not have even gotten my mask there. Yeah, I didn't. All because I needed my dot. That's fine, though. So that's not our usual bearded friend. He seems to have been fired with extreme prejudice. And our free pizza train has stopped a-rollin'. There's our dogs from last time. Our victims. Some of them. Seems like our character is feeling some pangs of regret. Our character, by the way, has no name. In fan canon, he is known as Jacket, which is the semi-official name that the developers have pretty much adopted. Once again, no one home. Someone has called in sick, indicating that another masked operative has been executed at our next job. So we gotta finish what they started. Honestly, can't blame them too much. This chapter is really, really hard. So now we're gonna try out Carl. Because Carl's starting weapon only works on downed enemies. This level starts off with a downed enemy. Then we drill his brains out. And replace this useless drill with a knife. Luckily, that was a random drop there. That enemy can hold any melee weapon. Then if you're far enough away from that window, the buckshot will miss you. If you're lucky, sometimes it'll hit you anyway. And sometimes I'll be too slow to dodge the bullets. We might end up seeing that kill a lot. Because this level is difficult. Quite difficult. We're just on the starting part. It gets much harder from here. Handled that well enough. So I think we want a knife for this part. Yep, most definitely. This part is trivialized by the knife. So this level is split into 4 sections, and after the first one you can do them in any order. You wouldn't know until having played it at least once what a good order to do that is, and what weapons you might need while doing so. Once you know what to expect, it's fairly manageable for the most part. Except for one part. The part I'm probably going to do next, to get it out of the way. For that part, we will require a shotgun. Whew. Dreading this. So we start with a downed enemy, and a million other enemies as backup. Doesn't get much better than that, though. Yep. But it can turn on a dime. Such is the nature of Hotline Miami. Switch to a melee weapon at some point. Start busting heads. Then start luring people. We can already see the purple dot right here. So there's guys patrolling every corner of this level. It's part of the level. I don't even really know what this is supposed to be. Some kind of spa? It's laid out very poorly for us. It's good if you want to have a shitload of armed mobsters defend against one attacker. And lucky for them, that's exactly what they want. But it is not advantageous for us. Bad timing, that patrolman there. Bad timing for me. He nailed it. He's gonna get a bonus in that timeline where he killed me. But we're not in that timeline anymore. Knives. Give me the knives. Okay. Liking this one so far. So you gotta get that guy out of there. What else we got? 1, 2, 3 guys. Yep, that's about as well as it can go. And I'm keeping this knife. It has served me well. And I'll keep swinging it all the way over here. This one's really hard if you bring a gun. Because you'll start firing at people. And then a lot of other enemies with guns will come your way. There's the other operative who failed. It's Jake. Play the second game if you want to see how he failed. You really don't want to see. Jake is not likable. None of the characters in the second game are likable at all. Except one of the villains from this game, weirdly enough. Don't know why they did that. Make you question your own perception, I guess. Whatever. The real point is that nothing matters, as I've said. Nihilism is always the answer. Come on, there we go. This should wrap us up. There we go. Yep, I remember this being a very difficult chapter on my original playthrough. But when sufficiently practiced, you can get through it pretty easily. I hope I picked up Jake on the successful run. Wouldn't want a repeat of Carl. Not that it matters, Jake is not a good mask, that I don't feel the need to show it off. Willem is garbage, and yeah, we didn't get Jake. But we also didn't get the mask from the level with the cops, so whatever. Not 100% run. There aren't even enough chapters to show off all the masks anyway, so not too much point in it. Have we met this blood-drenched tape rental employee? Only one way to find out. That is to keep playing. A living corpse is stealing our food. And, our roommate's back. Oh, Jim from the office here. Maybe our roommate is named Pam. Jim doesn't know how to hang up the phone, apparently. Having a real hard time. Ah, well. So, our roommate's got company. We won't interrupt her any further. We will head to the office. Work our 9 to 5. Bring home the bacon. So that the corpse can steal it. So the mask we just got was Willem. It's awkward and useless. Rip and steal. So that throat rip move that I showed off one time, if you do that while wearing the Willem mask, you also automatically equip the enemy's weapon. It doesn't have a lot of opportunities to be used. This is a perfect level to use the knife on, though. At least to start with. Because you can get everyone killed real fast. Obviously, the accompanied risk with that is that they kill you real fast. Yep. Or real slow, occasionally. Obviously, the difficulty is ramped up quite a bit from the first few parts. Nothing we can't handle, though. That's not the one I wanted. Yeah, that's the one I wanted. Should have just got a gun at that point. Yeah, not gonna repeat that mistake. Spoke too soon. There we go. Almost. He was just sleeping. Oh man. Okay. Everyone's good and dead. Ugh. Some good it did me. There we go. Second floor, I feel the... Yeah, I think this is the shotgun floor. The floor in which the shotgun is particularly useful. But I've used most of it because it is useful. So I have to switch to one of these. Oh, he got me. Yeah, so those guys are in a room that has no entrance. Therefore, you have to use guns. And they've all got guns. Everyone's got guns. Got a friend. Actually useful to have here. Then I got shot in the back. Had the right idea. You do want to lure enemies in. There we go. How did that hit me? Should have been behind the wall. Oh well. Didn't realize I was out of ammo. Getting by. A little refill. He beat me on the draw. Shockingly. Don't even know how he did that. He's got top-down perspective too. This is why I tend not to like the guns in this game. They add a lot of random factor. Uncontrollability. But we'll make do. We don't have a choice. Okay, now we just got double barrels. And this pistol. You can always use a pistol. No law against it. There's laws against it. We just don't have a lot of respect for the law. Clearly. Up. Out of ammo again. Oh. Missed my first shot there. Barely survived. There we go. And before we leave, want to get that in the projector room, because we can't return to this floor after the level is completed. I wanted a melee weapon, but this guy will provide. I like having melee here because, well, for one thing, you fire a gun, everyone's gonna come running. Fire their own guns, kill you right quick. But also, we get to do my favorite thing in this game. Kill someone through a window. I just love to imagine what that would look like. Our character, like, reaching his arm through the window and bashing someone's head in. It's very funny to me. I'm gonna switch that knife once I kill that guy with it. Because the last few deaths I've had were because my melee weapon was too slow. I think the enemies, like, have a memory of past lives where they will react faster after you've died and respawned at a checkpoint. More than likely, it is my imagination. But it could be a weird quirk of the programming. Reach through that window and kill that guy. Pretty much set once we get this guy out of here. There we go. Chapter clear. That's a pretty manageable one. I hate that second floor. And I'm not too fond of this part. Yeah. A little bit of a twist right at the end. So we now are being attacked by a van full of mobsters. They've got Molotov cocktails, which will burn us to death if we set foot near them. The rule is, once the guy lights a Molotov, he has to throw it. You can't interrupt him, and he'll just continuously light Molotovs and chuck them. But once you kill the 5 guys inside, you're all set. You do have to use guns, because some of them are thugs who are immune to melee. But then he dies, and then you do this. You give him a night to remember, and then you go on your merry way. Bit of a set piece right at the end there. But getting a high enough score unlocks Peter. Peter is good to have. And a ninja star. Less good to have. But we have it anyway. The game actually gets harder as you unlock more weapons, because you have a larger pool of useless weapons that'll screw you over if they happen to spawn in. Since they killed the bearded guy, we're now getting thrown out of our favorite bar in favor of these corpses. Lucky corpses. That was the climactic end of the chapter. On to connections. With no interstitial scene with the animal people in the mystery room yelling at us. Oh, and we've got a guest of our own. Oh, because she's not having any more guests, unfortunately. Come on, man. You couldn't even, stuff her corpse in the fridge. It's right over here. If you were gonna refrigerate her anyway. Whatever. Let's get this over with. Get this over with. Me and the rat are on the same wavelength. Not so much anymore. Because he's alive, and I'm dead. Here in the afterlife, I've become a ghost. Some of our animal friends have abandoned us, but Richard, still by our side, our stalwart companion. No point to anything we do. We'll never see the whole picture. And it's our fault for playing Hotline Miami. Off we go. It was at this point in my original playthrough that the game did start to lose me a little bit. I like the storytelling. The storytelling is actually coming to fruition. But, killing the girl who I never actually had all that much of an emotional attachment to, and they make it the emotional set piece of the whole damn game. It's played out, doesn't really land. Not a great story beat. But we've been captured by the cops. That's also not very interesting, because that'll stop us from going on our killing sprees. And we've also been murdered. That's a bit of a problem, too. Our visits with the ghosts have been coma flashbacks. In fact, the entire game up to this point has been a coma flashback. And we may have misremembered some details, as they have grown increasingly surreal. Strangely, they managed to capture the guy who killed us and the girl. They never managed to capture us during all of our rampages, but this guy kills one random guy in his apartment. They get him right away. Obviously, this chapter started to lose me a little bit, as it loses just about everybody who plays this game. But it's not as bad as its notoriety would have you believe. I had a friend that I bought this game for, and they never made it past this chapter. They quit the game permanently because they couldn't get through here. The shift in gameplay was not to their liking. They just didn't want to learn this new style of gameplay, which is not satisfying. Our power has been stripped from us. We are very weak. Can hardly blame them. And this scene can be very difficult and frustrating. Unless you know about this. So this door over here you can't go through. But over here, obviously intentionally because this door is open, you can just walk right out here and go into the void. If you walk forward, it'll just lead you nowhere, but if you walk towards the entrance of the building, it will complete the level very easily. You only have to dodge one doctor, and then you're home free. Much, much easier than the intended route of actually going out the entrance of the hospital. Not sure why they included that, but it's very speedrunner friendly. And back to the story. Our old apartment, our car's been vandalized for some reason. Who did that? Rude. Symbol has been drawn at our doorway. Who keeps drawing that damn symbol? Over by the chalk outline of our roommate's corpse, we gather our jacket, which is apparently the only thing we need to live, because it has immediately cured our life-threatening wounds. And off we go to get some vengeance. But we don't know where to go yet, so we are heading to the cops to see what they know. I don't think they're gonna give it up too easily. So my beloved Dennis, it is glitched to hell if you use it in this level. When the game first came out, if you brought Dennis in, it would crash the game outright. Now they changed it so that if you bring Dennis in, you start with a different weapon instead of the knife. But that's also not good, and it still caused the level to be unnecessarily glitchy. Tony is a good choice here, but Peter is a game changer. Our new mask, we're taking that in. Makes this level completely different. For the better. For us, it benefits us in many ways to bring the unicorn. We do got to make a little progress before it matters, though, because we don't have a gun. The cops sure do, though. They got plenty. And they'll randomly wander in and out of rooms in this first area. Getting this done as quickly as possible is necessary, because this is very random here. The entire Assault chapter, incredibly notorious. Players were very torn about this level when the game first came out, because it is dramatically more difficult than most of the rest of the game. This is a very hard chapter compared to everything we've seen so far, and even most of the rest of the game. But compared to Hotline Miami 2, this is absolutely the norm. In fact, it's right about the level of challenge that I consider to be the most satisfying for Hotline Miami. Wasn't the case when there was only a Hotline Miami 1, but in the context of the sequel, this is a good, fun level that I like a lot. Because the sequel just made everything ridiculous. Going back to what was once ridiculous in the first game is now actually quite enjoyable. One enemy remains. Almost got me, but almost doesn't count. I would prefer a shotgun that is fully loaded. Apparently there was only one on this entire floor. We'll try our luck with the assault rifle. But first, we will get the purple dot out of the bathroom. Onto the second floor. The second floor is where I had the most trouble. Oh, hey, free shotgun. This is where Peter is the game changer. If we had fired a gun at this point, we would have 100 cops on our case, all with guns, shooting the shit out of us. But because we have our quiet gunshot mask, that doesn't happen. It does still attract some enemies when you fire guns, just not very many of them. It makes guns quieter, but not completely quiet, although sometimes they'll be completely quiet. Guns have a lot of randomness to them, and when you play on a controller, they are very, very hard to aim. Oh, didn't expect that, but I did enjoy making the enemy run out of the level. Happens a lot in this particular chapter. This is by far the glitchiest chapter of the entire game. It is held together with duct tape. It absolutely strains the Game Maker engine to its very limits. And when they ported it to its own dedicated engine, which I don't even think it is, but its own EXE sort of thing, they made it a lot more stable. They fixed the crash where if you bring in Dennis, it just automatically dies outright. But it still has a lot of trouble, because there's just too many damn enemies. Which is shocking, because the second game has so many more enemies than this. Pretty sure it operates in exactly the same engine. But they figured it out enough to make it viable. Really gotta start using my far sight a little more. The big guys in this level have tasers. Hopefully I won't have to show that off. But if they get close, they will zap ya, and you'll writhe on the floor, and later be executed for your many crimes against society. I should get a gun. Ooh, I knew there was a guy over there too. Didn't think he was a priority. Damn. Just gonna focus a little bit, crack the beginning part of this level, and after that it gets dramatically easier. Make sure to switch guns often, because they have their limits. So far so good. Thought I got that guy, but I absolutely did not. So I had to make that up. This guy, get him with an aimed shot. Yeah, just make sure to use the lock on, because I'm not good at aiming otherwise. Oh no, almost got zapped. Who's left? Just the starting guy. And we're good. Didn't want to bring a shotgun here, but I'll get by. I guess I shouldn't have skipped that. Yeah, let's hear what he had to say. It's not important, but warns everybody that we are here, or rather going to be here, but obviously are already here. Follow protocol. There's the guy who killed us. Could presumably fire some guns through the bars. But no, he's in a Hannibal Lecter cage, apparently. He's that high priority. Completely bulletproof. This first part is why I would perhaps bring Tony if I weren't bringing Peter. Because Tony can just punch all these guys, one hit kill them. Get this over with real quick. It's not that this is difficult, it's that I am impatient with it. Because the beginning of this floor is a little boring. Just stand inside the enemy shotgun blast range, where they can't hit me. And obviously our shotgun has the same issue. If an enemy gets too close, we can't hit him. Yeah, I never liked this part very much. I think we got our boss. Yeah, he's bleeding out. And he coughs and he dies. Don't have to worry about him anymore. Just gotta tag him with one bullet. He's out of there. He's not all that tough. No more so than the general thugs. And just like that, the entire center is cleared. Now I just gotta clear the outskirts. We have got a lot of ammo to do it. He survived a bullet. So now we can get our keys to the cell. But we can't actually get into the cell until all the enemies are dead. It's a bit awkward. Damn, last guy. Story of my life. And like I said, this is very easy to do if I just punch the enemies and then bash their heads against the ground. That takes so long. I'd rather die 1,000 times in a row than have to do that once. Even though it is much faster to just do it once. Tag to the boss, just wait for him to die. Did I tag him? Let's tag him again. Because he has got a lot of guns. Sometimes it just takes the enemies a really, really long time to bleed out. Just kinda at random. Go. Back where we left off. Not making the same mistake. We're all set now. Get our keys. Can actually unlock the door here. Let him speak his piece. And it was pointless. He gives us a hot tip, and knows what to expect. It's what he would do. Strangle the shit out of him. It, of course, takes longer than that to strangle someone to death, but our guy's real strong. No survivors. We gotta kill the fish, too. There can be no witnesses, besides all the cameras that definitely caught everything we just did. So before we get the file, we can get the rat mask of the guy we just strangled to death. And there we go. Chapter complete. We got our secret, and we're out of here. And this part of the game actually continues for another very long, very difficult chapter. called Vengeance. So obviously it's a very important chapter as well. But Assault is very, very climactic. So I think I'm going to wrap up the video on this chapter. And that should leave roughly equal parts for the final section of this LP, where we will wrap up the entire rest of the game. Just like that. Maybe we'll even show off some of these new weapons we got. Probably not, though. So, see you next time for the finale of Hotline Miami.